Money ain't no problem. Yeah, I tell you, the Archbishop say people in Trinidad to pray. That is why we catching so much hell today. I tell you, people come into church regularly, but they conscious only of money. And my friend, they balling, money ain't no problem. Well then, tell me, what's the problem? Whoa. To a bed in the hospital, yeah, and we can't hear a word from Health Minister Kamal. Whoa. Black dirty water we had to drink, was a safe clean but it smelly stink. And my friend, the body, money ain't no problem. My friend, the shouting, money ain't no problem. You can't even use your phone to dial a prayer. Yeah. All the phones in a mess and it's like nobody care. Whoa. You can't even call the Prime Minister. He got the phones in the Gulf of Paria. My friend, the shouting, money ain't no problem. Lord, money ain't no problem.
Yes, indeed, of course, a pleasant good night to all and sundry, East, West, North, South, Central, or First and Tobago, and wherever you are streaming on the World Wide Web. Pleasant good day to you. This is, yes, the Corridor Transformation, your host. So, yeah, the decor changed a little bit. Just, of course, you know, it is said that variety is the spice of life. Well, of course, I'm enjoying life. Or should I say, the corridor is enjoying life. But that being as it may, of course, once again, a pleasant good night to all. Well, Joshua wouldn't be with us because today, of course, he had his home lesson, and he said he was waiting on me around 7 o'clock. Well, I made him go and do his homework. No program tonight. Go and do your homework, and then, of course, all things will be added on. That is how you do it, because if you know you had homework to do, and it turned out that he was able to do it on his own without my assistance. He just did not apply what he knew, and I had to guide him and direct him. Of course, that's the role of parents and teachers and others who are interested, of course, in their child's development. But that being as it may, he had to stay there and, of course, finish what he should have finished earlier today, and, of course, transfer whatever he had to transfer to an acceptable standard to which the teacher has insisted, because he has to understand instructions, and then, of course, everything will be added on. All right, people? So, of course, money is no problem. Money is no problem, eh? But of course, people, we have to ask the question because of course, very recently, among other things, on the heels after the 20,000 registration process, we were told that there's a second tranche, and there's was a hybrid kind of presentation at the diplomatic center. Understand that the Prime Minister has decided to rename the diplomatic center to I think the action center or the implementation center, words to that effect. And I think that is appropriate, because if it is that your government is people focused, action and implementation committed, then naturally all of the focus and all of the variables and all of the nuances and all of the philosophical and ideological and attitudinal and practical inventions or creations must be focused there, so that you have no doubt in your mind as to what has to be done. I'm saying so because several years ago I was asked the very question about, of course, young people in Laventille, East Port of Spain, Beetham, etc., and to, of course, give an analysis as to what these people or members of these communities who see themselves as second-class and third-class citizens, what should be the parameters, what should be the philosophical underpinning as to what a citizen must be. And therefore, of course, I had to ideate a little bit. I had to mull on the question a little bit. But a fellow like me will always be ready, like as it is said, like, of course, what? Yeah, Boy Scout. Always ready. So I was ready. After all, I didn't go to school for nothing. I didn't, of course, inculcate economics and criminology and entrepreneurial development and all of that. And project, not just implementation, but project planning and writing, albeit in the sphere of NGO and the acquisition of resources in order to implement social issues, or put another way, institutions that would have been created by individuals to address a specific social problem or economic problem for that matter. Engineers, civil engineers, of course, engage in activities to deal with the physical space, whether they have to build bridges, whether they have to build, of course, drains, whether they have to build roads, pavements, etc. So let me get back, of course, to the question that was posed to me. What do I consider to be a functional, committed, and dedicated citizen? And I said it in this way: an individual who having been trained, educated, not necessarily academically, but he may have his vocational skills. That too is part of his qualifications, if you want to call it that. But such an individual must be able, apart from those qualities that he must have, he must be patriotic, he must be productive, he must have a deep sense of what the country needs and his role in that process. And very important, he must have the capacity to understand his fervent role and responsibility in the society. So the other things that will naturally come, discipline, production, tolerance, notice that, will naturally come as part and parcel of the normative behavior, attitude, and acceptance and or intellectual understanding, cognitive understanding of his role and responsibility. But of course, saying that will include, of course, being law-abiding is also crucial. So that is what I see as a perfect citizen in the context of Trinidad and Tobago. And God knows that is what we need now. You see, that tune by Ras Shorty I wasn't played by accident, you know. It was all about recognizing that the factors of production, because that is what the government of the day is engaged in. Production, making things happen. The factors of production, just for our purposes and for the edification of others out there, the factors of production are actually land, labor, capital. You must have money. That is what Ras Shorty I talked about. And you must have entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is as wide as it is deep, as it is broad, because it has to do with the human factor. It has to do with someone who can dream and have a vision and convert something that some may consider to be rubbish or waste into something productive to make money. That is the factor of production, and that component of it, which is entrepreneurship. So we have to have a large section of entrepreneurs and dreamers. The government, therefore, has signaled its intention to take on such a role, but on a macro level, if you want to call it that, while of course the rest of us must go at the micro level and gravitate to the areas of specialization, and therefore by that process make our contribution to the society. In fact, I think what is appropriate now, sociologically speaking, is to, of course, define or to see what kind of sociological application we could put into that process, where you have a symbiotic relationship but operating in multiple ways, and of course interacting with each other. Symbiosis meaning that, of course, existing for your mutual benefit. And of course the type of sociological application I would want to use at this time is, of course, what is called the functionalist sociological concept or philosophy. Let me repeat. The functionalist sociological ideology or system, where in simple terms the society is seen as a body, a human body, for example, and that the body can only function, and of course it is superlative, or it is perfect in operation when the sum of its parts functions smoothly. So the heart has to be functioning nicely, the lungs have to be functioning nicely, the eyes have to be functioning, the nose, the mouth, the skin. Incidentally, the largest organ in the body is the skin. And of course the liver, the digestive tract, even of course where you have to excrete, anal, yes, we have to excrete, and so on, rectum and anal orifice, if you want to call it that, or components have to be functioning well, airs have to be functioning, etc. So it is that which the present government has appealed for, and is expected that not only will society or citizens gravitate, but they too will do their part in this symbiotic relationship. existing for their mutual benefit as they move Trinidad and Tobago forward. The line is open, of course. I want to hear some of you, but I'm going to play for you, of course, some of the aspects of the intention of this government to, of course, generate a society where, of course, they are going to not only claim that Trinidad and Tobago is open for business, but it has been and it will be revitalized so as to achieve that goal. Revitalization of Trinidad and Tobago. Wonderful, wonderful. And as I said, of course, I'm hearing my phone somewhere. Somebody give it to me, please. Sorry about that caller. Sorry about that caller. If it's a caller, I don't have my phone with me. I put it on quickly. Yes, thank you. All right, call back caller. Call back caller. Yes, indeed. Somebody's here? No, nobody's here. Yes, indeed. So let's get on to the task before us now, and I want to, of course, share this with you. Let me just make sure and have the audio on. I think I have the audio on. I'm not getting audio. Oh yes, okay. All right, I'm not seeing I'm not seeing it on the screen, so I have to take it here. Pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor.
Good night, Lennox. It's me. I'm calling. I wanted to respond again from our conversation last night.
Oh, right. Okay.
Because it really, because I don't like to skirt an issue or duck from a question. I mean, if I could answer it, I will.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been thinking a lot about what you asked me last night,
Mm-hmm.
and I never really thought about a zone of peace,
Oh, okay.
And the reason why is this. You see, Venezuela is not a member of the Organization of American States, America's states.
Is not or is?
Canada is not.
Is not, that's right, yes.
A member of the OAS.
Yeah, yes.
In 2017,
Yeah, it withdrew, yeah.
when Maduro, he withdrew from the OAS. And
Yeah.
the OAS, especially the United States and the Caribbean we get one vote. Trinidad and Tobago gets one vote, but most of the Caribbean islands who are members of the OAS, they get one vote too. Just like Canada gets a vote, just like Brazil, Colombia, all the countries that belong into the OAS, they get one vote, and Venezuela got one vote too. But what happened was when in 2017, and Canada gets a vote too, as I said that. In 2017, Maduro, there was a lot of problems with conflict between the United States and Maduro's government. The way he wanted to be more isolationist, he was angry at the United States investing there, and there were other stuff going on too. And under the agreement with OAS, America can't just come in and invade Trinidad and Tobago. They can't do that because the OAS agreement says that they support one type of government, they support peace, they support trade, and it's more like kind of like any other charter. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like the CARICOM charter, we have an agreement in CARICOM where we are a small group of islands and we respect each other with trade. We will help each other out. We'll share information, and we want to look out for each other's interests. That's what the members of CARICOM look. That's what we do as the Caribbean islands. But OAS is more powerful because OAS we're dealing with some big players there. That's why we get a vote, and Grenada gets a vote. St. Kitts Nevis gets a vote. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when the votes come together, there are 35 countries. But with CARICOM, it's 14 votes right there. With Venezuela gone, Venezuela wouldn't be able to vote. But the United States have always refused to accept Venezuela's withdrawal. And in 2019, just when you get 2 years after you withdraw to say, okay, well, now we officially withdraw from OAS, because you just can't say, we're going to leave today, and you end up, there's a lot of money involved and a lot of stuff that goes on in those treaties.
Yeah.
And when 2019 came around, Maduro walked away, and the Americans said, no, we support Juan Guaido. We support him as the leader, and he's going to represent the OAS. And Maduro said no. And this is where we have this big problem now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, but Venezuela is also a member of an organization called ALBA.
Yeah.
ALBA was created where you go against the United States. You say, we don't want the United States influence and intervention in our country. We run our own internal affairs, and America has no business in our country. And that's most of the countries who are members of that support that ideology, and that's political stuff. Some Caribbean islands are members of that.
Yeah, St. Vincent is a leading one. Yeah.
But what I want to get to is this. You see, there are all these, it's not just a zone of peace and we could do whatever we want. CARICOM has a voice, but the CARICOM is very fragmented. We could go to the OAS, there's 14 votes, 14, and call the other countries and say, let's have a vote on what's going on with Venezuela and the United States. But some of those countries in OAS will vote against. Do you know what I mean? Like, because they recognize Maduro, but they're also members of the OAS. So it's very contentious. And I believe from looking at the whole picture, we have to be very pragmatic about it. You see, and that's kind of the word that I don't like the whole time, but we have to trade. And if we want to, we could break away from CARICOM. We could say we don't want to be part of CARICOM. Or we could break away from the OAS and say, Trinidad and Tobago, we will stick with CARICOM. We don't want to be part of the OAS. And we're going to do our own trade. We'll do our own LNG. And, and we don't want any sanctions. But the United States could hit us with sanctions, just like they did with Venezuela.
Yeah.
So it's a very delicate situation. But right now, the goal right now is to get rid of Maduro. And I believe and maybe these extrajudicial killings wrong. Maybe Trump will have to answer for that later on. But with the new government in place, they could handle Maduro and prosecute him for crimes against humanity, for corruption. You know what I mean?
Go ahead. Sorry about that. Yeah, go ahead.
So what I'm saying is all this thing with this zone of peace, with all this marching, and we're doing a kumbaya thing. That to me, it's not making much sense right now, because right now we need to make a decision. We have to really talk to all of CARICOM, because the United States, they have an interest. They could say, well, we're in this. We believe that it's not just the drug trafficking, but we believe that he's starving his people, he's prosecuting people wrongly and putting them in jail, and they could intervene and say, well, we have to do something, and we can't do nothing. We have to kind of be quiet. So that was my
no problem. But I was slightly concerned because I had to ask a direct question as to why. What's your view on the whole question of persons not identifying those who are for this amorphous zone of peace? Why are they not identifying the iniquities and the human rights violation and the electoral undermining that Maduro has been engaged in, and the manipulation of the institutions of that are supposed to be independent in Venezuela? That's why we had to sort of prolong our conversation about you. Yeah, go ahead.
I also wanted to say that all of the countries that are members of the OAS, they also offer something. Like Trinidad has a lot of natural gas. We have the largest natural gas processing plant in the world, next to Qatar.
Yes.
No, Qatar, right? Next to that country. So we do have a lot of resources that could generate more income later on, and independence from a lot of.
And what is your view about the present government's statement, or put another way, the unveiling of this revitalization situation? Are you satisfied that they have recognized the strategic and the real potential of Trinidad and Tobago, and has decided, of course, to tap into it and to dream big? Because, of course, anybody outside of Trinidad and Tobago and outside of the region would think that if that's the third richest country in the Western Hemisphere, then, of course, there must be some big things there. But it turns out that only thing big is, of course, we have some large gas processing plant and a high degree or high amount of storage tanks for oil, etc. But basically, that is what we have.
We don't need Venezuelan oil. We don't. We never did.
Yeah.
It's meaningless. Kamala's right. The president, prime minister's right.
Yeah.
We don't need it. We could get oil from Guyana, and they'd be willing to work with us because
Yeah, she's
the Americans are very big
positioning
investor
herself.
over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. All right.
And
Thanks
we
very
also
much.
Now, you know, we have relations with Saudi Arabia now.
Yeah.
You
We
know,
all over the
and
place.
I think-
We are not we are not a basket case as yet. All right.
Oh,
Look
but
at it.
the money will come.
Dr.
The money
Mayaro,
should get into
transforming the
Thank you.
energy belt into a multi-use development zone.
That thin line is really what I'm calling the South-South corridor, taking from the energy capital of San Fernando to the other energy hub in Mayaro. Right, that's a 100 kilometers of road, and that is already going out to tender. We have the first.
Well, people, of course, that's an excerpt of the presentation of the revitalization of Trinidad and Tobago. I mean, a tremendous effort indeed.
Several facilities under one unified structure, including the creation of the Tamana Center for Justice.
We start with what we call the consolidation of justice. Carrera Prison Island, 25 acres. The Frederick Street, fondly called Dem Boys Jail by the mighty Shadow, and Golden Grove has 270 acres. We are talking about consolidating that into a major facility, one where we truly will have justice on time. So this is our Tamana Prison campus sitting on 500 acres.
The minister said with this consolidation, the existing prison facilities will be repurposed. The Carrera Island prison will be converted into a resort. In the future, it will be known as Isla Carrera Resort.
When we consolidate our jails, we'll be saving upward of 40%, $60 million per year. All right, that is now being spent.
People, of course, don't feel they are disturbing. You can call in. I will just pause and entertain your call.
Earlier when I spoke about the consolidation at this Tamana space, 75, we are suggesting this is a concept, 75-room boutique hotel with all amenities, etc., etc.
Among the creative redevelopments, the iconic Dem Boys Jail in Port of Spain will be transformed into an art and event space.
We are suggesting that it be repurposed into an exhibition and event hall where even young artists can go and rent a space. It's a classroom and studios for teaching and workshop, conference facility, rooftop restaurant, etc.
The Golden Grove facility will be repurposed for housing. The transformation also positions Trinidad and Tobago as a global meetings, incentives, conferences and exhibitions or MICE hub, targeting business meetings, incentives, conferences and exhibitions with major improvements planned across the capital.
We are looking at the port city in the east. This is the Invaders Bay, so we are moving east. 25,000 person capacity convention center. In Dubai, they have a convention that goes for maybe 2 years. They do the same thing in Shanghai and in Singapore. We are looking at a 400
let's
marina.
pause for a course.
And international
Jill John,
financial.
of course, explain. We'll continue with Jill John thereafter. President, good night. Welcome, Mr. Tagarigo. Good night, my friend. Huh? Yeah, you loud and clear. Go ahead.
Right. So anybody want to know how good this government is?
Yeah.
Just look back at the last government and make the compass.
Beautiful.
That's straight on. The last government they had leg to stand on.
Yeah.
Right? So we government, we have a good government. Give it time, everything will fall into place.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You know I want to talk about it, huh?
Go ahead.
I want to talk to the police.
All right.
I think I had this discussion with you already.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see how police from Sandy Grande is operating in Tulapur and all this thing. That makes no sense.
How police and where?
From Sandy Grande,
From Sandy Grande, yes. Uh-huh.
could be operating in Tulapur and
Oh,
all
operating
this kind of
telephone. Okay. Oh.
thing. That don't make sense. All police should stay in the area. Right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you will never be able to stop fake police and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
If a police have a case in Tulapura and he transfer to Sandy Grande, if somebody in Tulapura put on the case to take over,
Yeah.
you have to say the zone Lennox. Let me show you what I mean, and I show you this already, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that sergeant come to work in the morning. And he go to the station around 9 o'clock usual time.
Mm-hmm.
And he finish. And how many police out of work? If you tell him 10, say right, he might know all of them. You got also you some.
Mm-hmm.
And where they located because it's supposed to say where they put them.
Right.
Not driving all over the place.
Right.
So when he make you out, somebody see 11 police vehicles. Also, they have a fake police van there. Like
I hear you.
If you tell him 10 on the Gong Street,
Mm-hmm.
around the area, and he see them, the more stores have an imposter inside there, they have to restrict policemen to their own area. I'm surprised, remember you know that, Johnny? Right?
Yes.
Now, police actually, you know, going in St. James, and he from Tulapuda, or who got in the CJ case that he was on. That is stupidness.
But to me, it appears that the police service, and indeed, of course, some other institutions, like customs and so on, in an attempt, well, not customs can be likened to the police, based on the argument I'm going to make, that it appears that they are shifting around people willy-nilly, helter-skelter, not having them, of course, stay long enough to understand the geography, the topography, the sociology, the culture, the unique culture of the place, and of course set up a proper modus operandi, and of course a network so as to capture the criminal elements. But when you, in other words, police strive on that. Police work is all about that, getting information and of course identifying certain elements that they would become interested in, generate some profile, have a history, and therefore it requires some people, the police staying in a place long enough so as to do that. If you keep moving them around, the criminal element will know that, and therefore they will know who, and they will take a chance with a fella who just come and mislead him, etc., until the next fella come, and so on and so on. So while they're trying to, of course, achieve efficiency and less corruption and familiarity, they're also faced with the other side of it, where it may well defeat the purpose.
That's right. Just
Yeah.
think about if police here in the area too long, they will get corrupt for the people.
Yeah. That's the objective. So you mash up the coup in order. Yeah. You mash up the coup, get rid of all of the pigeons, good and bad, and then now you find yourself in a situation where you have no pigeons.
That is in the area, that is it.
Yeah.
And then they say, I go here, and I put this one there, and I put that one there. And the inspector drive along, he must see them where they're supposed to be.
Yeah. You must have a certain amount of knowledge of the precinct or the community that you are serving. Otherwise, it makes no sense. A fella will easily deceive you. You run through one track, you don't know the track. Next thing, you find yourself in problems. You end up on a wall. That time he does scale something or pass through somewhere and gone.
And you hide in the bush and wait till your parts and come out.
Yeah.
Right?
So that's the advantage. I mean, it's in the context of Trinidad and Tobago, frankly, I mean, the Commissioner of Police is faced with a dilemma. He has to find a way to deploy his men in such a way so as to be as effective as possible.
They have enough vehicles now.
Yeah.
Everybody's supposed to see the area work.
Yeah. All right.
Y'all,
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
we go talk.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, indeed. So that's Mr. Talapuna's, Mr. Tarwigo's position on the frequent and sometimes inexplicable reasons for the removal or the recycling or the recirculating or the deployment of police officers without any specific consideration for familiarity and getting to know your environment, and therefore the criminal elements, and know who to go and look for at times. Long time that's how them police were. That they would study, they would know, and therefore as soon as a particular crime is committed, even though people may not see who perpetrated it, but because they have that MO, modus operandi, they just go and pick up the guy, and sometimes he confess, or sometimes you through what is called identification parade, the victim points him out, and the police has solved their case, and it's a matter now to put the evidence before the judicial tribunal in order for a conviction to be secured. So that's how it is. All right. That being as it may, of course, let me get back to that piece with Journal John on the floor, talking about, of course, the security aspect of it, and of course some diversification issues with respect to making Trinidad and Tobago a tourism hub, and of course making reference to Dubai and other places, Singapore and so on, I know was mentioned profusely by the Prime Minister, suggesting, as we have said over and over, why the hell Trinidad and Tobago, having regard to its reputation and being the third richest country in the Western Hemisphere, based on our per capita income, why it is we cannot be the Dubai or the Singapore of the West. Well, I think the present government has finally, I don't want it to sound as though they were there in recent past, but certainly I want to say finally has focused as a government and causing the country to focus. And I think the gathering at the diplomatic center, which is now to be recalled the implementation center, will certainly, of course, bring out and to make vivid that idea that Trinidad and Tobago can be more than what it is, of course, punching above its weight, so to speak, and therefore bringing prosperity and good tidings to Trinidad and Tobago.
Tower. We're on the same time zone with New York, and we intend to compete.
From San Fernando to Port of Spain, the revitalization blueprint envisions upgraded ports, hotels and waterfronts, including a 4 million TU port city, a multimodal hub, and residential and cultural districts in Sealots and Invaders Bay.
Go big or go home. This is 400 acres of reclaimed land, and we are looking to do a port of 4 million TUs per annum. Because currently the port of Port of Spain, they're really asleep. They do about 300 TUs per annum. The one in Pipdeco, it's about 230,000 per annum. We can't compete with that. We really need to scale up. Right, so this is scaling up, where we are saying we are the most competitive port in the Caribbean, making for not only cruise ship complex. I was asking for those cruise ship numbers. I think last year we did about 36,000. In Little Barbados, they did 800,000.
The minister emphasized that Port of Spain's east and waterfront areas, including Sealots, will see industrial, residential and healthcare redevelopment. The revitalization blueprint is expected to generate over 50,000 jobs during construction, with proposals already open and tenders underway. The forecasted construction timeline runs from 2025 to 2030 for Phase 1 and 2030 to 2035 for Phase 2. Minister John said projects in Tobago will be unveiled in the coming weeks as Trinidad and Tobago prepares to reintroduce itself to the world. Mahalia Joseph Wharton, TTT News.
Yes, people. So, I mean, fantastic announcements. Indeed, fantastic announcements indeed. And we have to say that that is something, that kind of announcement is long overdue, frankly. But let's go to the line. Let's go to the line. Professor, good night. Welcome to the corridor.
Good night, Lennox. It's me. I'm not going to take forever. I just wanted to make a comment
Yeah, go ahead.
about this project that the Prime Minister is doing.
Yeah.
I think it's excellent. I think it's finally time that somebody created something different in sea lots. Sea lots is a nightmare, and that whole area, if you're driving and your car cuts off in the beach, how many times have we read of people getting killed, shot, robbed, mugged? It's a horrible stereotype of a community that should be one with all of us. So I think that's a bold move. It's going to cost a lot of money, and we know the money is here because we have big companies like Answer McCall. They always make billions of dollars for profits. We've got a very hefty, wealthy 1% who owns a lot of businesses here, and they need to invest locally in jobs and not just in their pockets. And I think also we could get investors here. By creating a new hub there, you take everything, kind of split it from Port of Spain, and now you're moving people away from downtown, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's an excellent move she did. I would love if she worked with regional corporations now and let us make some changes within regional corporations, because if you're going to put all this money investing in projects and creating jobs, well, the Express had a great article, a cautionary tale about how corruption and millions of dollars can get lost. And and this has to do with the Live Sport project. I'm not blaming any prime minister, I'm just blaming the players involved. How could a contractor control meetings and control how a contract is drafted and then get all this money without performing anything? Is that what kind of, and we've seen that repeatedly in almost every administration. And I hope the Prime Minister listens to the show. I hope people listen so they understand we can't do this anymore. You know, Syria just had a meeting in Washington with President Trump. Syria suffered billions and billions of dollars. It's going to take them over $900 million just to start with basic infrastructure. But they're going to get the investments. Everybody's going to invest in Syria because guess why? No sanctions. Syria has a lot of wealth. Venezuela has all these sanctions. Once those sanctions get lifted, we could become real good trading partners with Venezuela and the rest of South America, causing less carbon emission from shipping all the way from China.
Mm-hmm.
We have the ability to do a lot here, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We have the capability to use and be a leader in recycling. But you see, we never had the government could never do it. They love to talk about it and make promises, but they never delivered. From P&M to everyone in the past. And I feel like what she's telling us, I feel like, is it real? Is this going to happen? And I said to myself, it could happen easily. Very easily.
Yeah.
And as part of that, we need to revamp our schools. If we're going to create all these jobs, it's going to take time. So we've got to get the infrastructure now for vocational training. From customer service to basic math and dealing with people, talking with people. We have to have a cultural shift in our ethics, in the way we value work, in the way we treat our family, and in the way we love this country, because we've got to make it better for all of us and have a stronger sense of nationalism. You see, when I call the radio and I talk, and then somebody goes, see that lady talking, she's an idiot, go back there. That is not building a country, you creating hate.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I get so fed up. If you're here, I lived in America for a long time. I heard many accents. I met people from Somalia, Liberia. I met people from Lebanon, Syria, Israel. I met people from all over the Caribbean islands. And when you go in America, you have a different attitude in how you talk to people and how you treat people from the Caribbean. And when we come back here, it's like the gutter.
I hear you.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. I started on that tone by saying who a citizen should be, what a citizen should be, and I did give some elements of which you just identified. So we are on the same page in that regard.
Like we take pride there, like we take pride in the government job.
Take pride. Yeah, take pride in the country.
You have a government job.
Yeah.
All right.
All right then. Thanks very much.
Sorry.
Once again, yes. Yes, it's very, very, very passionate indeed. Let's go to the Honorable Prime Minister and hear what introductions that are there. And after this, of course, revitalization and of Trinidad and Tobago open for business. I mean, that is a bold, profound statement indeed. Let's hear. So the Prime Minister, of course, is entering the area where, of course, everybody is assembled, and she has two young lads, a female and a male, at her side, and she is, of course, walking in. Let me make it a little much more visible for you. Yeah, let me make it a little more visible for you, so you'll get an appreciation as to what really was going on there. All right, let me make it a little more visible for you. Yes, so right, let's see. Right, so there we have it. Yes, indeed. So she is flanked by two young persons as she enters the room where at the diplomatic center, where this unveiling of this mammoth, very forthright, incisive, visionary, and clearly having a concept of a future Trinidad and Tobago in extremely positive terms. So there we have it, but let's fast forward it, of course, to part of the presentation. We'll skip, of course, the formalities.
Of sectors. So just to be a little practical, those seeking financing for construction and general construction project, beyond the standard of due diligence.
But the person who is there is the chairman of First Citizen Bank and the chairman of Unicot at the same time. So he's making a presentation saying how both entities will be working with the private sector and elsewhere and representing government in order to, of course, execute or partially execute the vision that Journal John and others would have presented, including the Prime Minister.
Contract. So that protects the bank's interest. You need to have cost overrun guarantees, performance guarantees, and submission of a track record information. You need to have all of that. And of course, for public-private partnerships, the bank will also require, in addition, an executed PPP contract, that's very important, and a credit assessment of the public body. In this case, it will be UDCOT. Now, of course, the process will vary from bank to bank, as the case may be, but these represent the core requirements for these type of projects. So the role of FCB Investment Division in supporting PPP projects, well, we play a pivotal role in the origination, structure, and execution of PPP contracts, public-private partnership. So we provide these services.
So what his role would have been at that function was merely to say how, or to tell the investors, potential and otherwise, talking about local, regional and international, that First Citizen Bank is on board and is prepared, of course, to fund projects once, of course, it is related to that Trinidad and Tobago Global Hub, that revitalization and initiative. And, of course, simultaneously, it is part of the second phase of the recruitment. But I have what I consider to be, I don't want to use the word concern because it would sound as though there is something untoward. I would like to say that I'm a bit puzzled as to how and when and the time frame for implementation. Let me put it that way. Having regard, of course, to certain other factors, including, of course, Christmas is coming up next month. That's all, right? And, of course, and that dovetail into Carnival and the cultural, social, and economic tie that Trinbagonians would have to these festivals or these occasions. what is the plan for the very small man? What is the plan? And I would want to pay a little attention to that. I wouldn't say any more except to pay a little attention to it. But let's go straight to, of course, the Prime Minister's presentation. I think is important. At the end of the exercise, she would have, of course, bring up the rear, so to speak. So let's see. Let's go there. All right, let's go there. Let's see. So right along here. So let's go there and see what is happening with respect, of course, to her presentation. But before we go there, let's go straight to the line. I find the system is not operating tonight. I wonder why. Anyhow, let's go straight to the line. A pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor.
Dr. Lennox, good night to you, sir.
Good night to you as well, my friend.
I was watching the news tonight, right?
Uh-huh.
TV6. And I saw TV6 is revisiting, well, they have an ongoing series there where Mark Bassant.
Yes, Mark Bassant, yes.
Revisiting the live sport scenario.
Yeah.
But in that case has finished.
If what?
I say the live sport.
Yeah, I'll be adjusting that tomorrow, but go ahead, you make your point.
But that case has finished, that's all.
It what? Case?
The case, in court.
Yeah, no, I think it finished in July, I believe it was.
Okay, because
yeah, where the directors of the sports company were all charged, for whatever better term, of 40,000, I believe. They're supposed, all of them are supposed to pay back or something like that. Yeah.
Because finance strange, that's what I say,
because they said it was breach of fiduciary responsibility. They had a duty to ignore if government gave them an instruction, minister or no minister. They had a right to do and question, but they didn't question, but they did, and therefore, of course, they had to, of course, take responsibility. The first time I suspect a public company, the directors would have been held responsible in that way, even of course it's a peppercorn comparatively speaking as to the money spent. Some that the judge handed down to them as a penalty. Go ahead.
Yeah, so and my other point here is,
Uh-huh.
now I noticed that the finance minister is questioning the present government about Kamala have this plan here to revitalize.
And he wants to know the cost, where the money coming from.
Yeah, so my point is, now they were there for 9 years and 8 months. He was the finance minister.
Yeah.
He bankrupted, he and the rest of the PNI government bankrupted Trinidad.
Yeah. And with money that he met there, he didn't contribute not a damn cent.
Yeah, because
money he met there left by Kamala Prasad Bisesa.
Yeah, but you see, the thing is, he read 10 budgets in Parliament.
Yeah.
To the tune of around 60 billion per annum.
Yeah.
Which will, in tally, will be about over $600 billion.
Yeah.
In addition to that, they dipped in the Heritage and Stabilization Fund about 5 to 6 times. And they also borrowed.
Yeah, but I mean, they borrowed when they got into office. I think the debt to GDP was about 42%, 44%, and they raised it to close to 100%. Is about 90%.
So the fact is that they shouldn't be questioning the government where because they bankrupted the country.
Yeah, but they are warp-minded people. They are sick. They will do that with a straight face. But of course, it's all part and parcel of the attempt to engage in what is called histrionics, theatrics, and trickery. That's all that is about.
Yeah, so this is what I call here. I'll be very brief because I all the best. So I think I want
Okay, okay. Well, I wish you a speedy recovery because you have a lot of contributions to make. You know that, and I myself trying to keep myself in one piece because I know that the task ahead is tremendous, and the people depend on people like you and I for a better future.
Yeah, because I know that they wouldn't stop. They wouldn't stop because I think they have too much at stake.
Yeah. Too much,
Too much at stake.
yeah, too much on the fire, too much pot on the fire to turn back now. And, yeah.
I think the Attorney General will have a lot of work to do in the future.
Oh yeah. He has a tremendous amount. In fact, I'm penning a letter to communicate with him formally. I've not done so with any one of the major officers of government. So I've decided to put pen to paper, and these days, so I'm spending some long hours and some early mornings at 2 o'clock in the morning and so on, in order to get it. And by the time turn around, corridor transformation or ground report had to start. So you just have to find the material, and it is challenging, but as I say, Boy Scout style adaptation is critical.
Yeah, so we can't give up. We can't give up.
Can't give up,
You
yes.
have a wonderful job. So,
All right.
you take care, my friend.
Yes, same to you, my friend. Thank you very much. Yes, indeed. Let's go straight, of course, to Kamala Prasad Bisasa, the Honorable Prime Minister, who, of course, has taken the podium, I believe, by now. And she will address, of course, that revitalization initiative, but that would, of course, launch as well simultaneously the second phase of the national recruitment drive.
You all, thank you very much. Please have your seats.
Yeah. Give it up for MP Jalen John, our Minister of Works and Infrastructure. I know it's a mouthful, but we live in very exciting times, and we're looking forward to partnering with everyone here locally, regionally, and internationally as we lift off Trinidad and Tobago. So let me recognize all the distinguished persons who are here with us today. Of course, Honorary AG, Senator John Jeremy, Minister John, acknowledged, the chairman of UDICOT and FCB, of course, Honorable Senator Swarat Singh, our Minister of Planning. I was very excited about the things you mentioned, because we have to really do better with the ease of doing business. And we have to remove those blockers that we have in regulations and legislation. I know you mentioned, to do a project in our country, we have a piece of law that you have to get some kind of approval from a person, a local government corporation in health. And that person knows nothing about construction.
I'll tell you what, I will go behind the screen. I will go behind the screen and allow you to, of course, listen to the Prime Minister without disturbance and with a bigger and more appropriate picture. All right? So I'll come back after she's finished.
Definitely change. Let me again acknowledge all our cabinet members, members of the House, members of the Senate, and our parliamentary secretaries, your excellencies of the diplomatic corps. We are depending on you, and we're hoping to use your leverage in your own countries to help us to get the investors that we need and the monies that we need. We were very lucky today that Mr. Chris Sinclair happened to be in Tobago with me yesterday on other matters related to development, and I want to thank him very much for agreeing to speak with us today. And we know, they say Trini likes freeness. Thank you, sir, for the freeness you've offered to help us get these projects off the ground. Please put your hands together for Mr. Sinclair, our Bajan brother. With us today, I asked specially projects going sector and, of course, all the special invited guests who are here today. I thank you again for joining us. And as I share with you, we have changed the name of this diplomatic center. We are now calling it the Delivery Center,
So today we'll share with you some of the deliverables. Thank you all for being here. We welcome you to share our government's vision for bold and transformative vision to rebuild and re-image Trinidad and Tobago. For every great project, there must be a blueprint, a clear plan. And above all, we must have a vision for a better, brighter, more prosperous future. And so it is my government's mission to improve the quality of life for all, not just for today, but for our generations to come. So even policy, every policy we craft is rooted in one principle, and that is delivery. It has been over 6 months when we took office, and I can proudly say that the promises we made are being put into action. Tangible results are already being seen. The people of our great nation place their faith and their hope and trust in my government and I, and we are committed to a renewed and revitalized TNT. I assure you, the work began on day one and continues on every single day. The Minister of Finance, the Minister of Planning rolled out our budget, a budget that was one really aimed at delivering again. And that presented to us a roadmap, that budget, our first budget, a roadmap which charts the way forward for our next fiscal year. And the question that recurs is, where will we find the money? Where will we find the money? I told you then and I tell you now, we will find that money. And that is why we are rolling out these projects together to advise you, so that you and your various organizations, that you can help us find money that will bring money for investment, but will give you money to return back to your own country, back to your own organization. So we welcome you here today. I say for every project, there must be a blueprint and there must be a plan, and that is the blueprint that we put out here today. So one loud cry, where is the money coming from? And we work together to find it. And the other cry we hear from everyone is about jobs. We want jobs. That has been the cry on the ground. That has been the cry before we came into office. And that is still the cry. And in response to those cries for jobs, my government launched really recently a national recruitment drive for the public sector. I said we received over 110,000 applications, but if you were to look at those applications for each person, it's less persons, because some persons still want a job. They've applied for several jobs at a time. So we are analyzing the data, and we will be rolling out, I think it's from next week, the interview process for those who applied. Now that would have been for public sector jobs, but we have the whole private sector. And Mr. John, when she spoke, you can see in every sector there will be more jobs to come. Today, I wish to share with you our broader vision, our diversification thrust, which will generate thousands of jobs and build a stronger and more resilient economy. TNT, as others have spoken, and we all know, especially in recent times, we are a blessed and beautiful nation. We are fortunate to have many, many strengths that make us attractive to investors and to position us as a powerful economic hub in the Caribbean. Our nation has unique national competitive advantages, and I'll just name a few of them, some mentioned already. One, we are outside the hurricane belt. Thank you, God. We are outside the hurricane belt. We are a strategic location and time zone that bridges the Americas. We have a highly educated workforce. We have affordable and reliable energy supply. We have a very stable democracy. We are the only Caribbean. I did on Mr. Sinclair last night when we went to Tobago. We are the only country in the Caribbean, you may not know this, with an investment-grade software rating. Did you know that? Trinidad and Tobago is the only country in the Caribbean with investment-grade sovereign rating. What does it mean? It means that we can retain strong borrowings and strong investors into our country, and we'll have that power for investor confidence. So we do not take this lightly. We know that immediate and deliberate action is needed to move beyond our historical dependence on oil and gas. Geographically, mentioned before, we are located outside the belt, the hurricane, and we have neighbors in Latin America, India, America so close by, as well as North America. And some of our Latin American colleagues and neighbors are here. Can we give them a round of applause and thank them for joining us? I see my friend is smiling very widely. So we have begun implementing and putting things on the ground, but we have a lot of work to do. We have a strong legal system. We have a deep respect for the rule of law, even as we continue to confront the challenges of crime and safety. We have preserved sustainable economic ties locally with our private sector and regionally through CARICOM. But now, the time has come to open our doors internationally, to learn from and partner with countries that have successfully transformed their economies. For example, Singapore, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Bahrain, Kuwait, and others. Many of these nations were similar in positions like ours, heavily dependent on energy. Yet they transitioned, they grew dynamic, diversified economies. Let me give you one example. Today, less than 1% of Dubai's GDP comes from oil. Less than 1%. Its economy now thrives on trade, tourism, real estate, logistics, and financial services. Similarly, Singapore transformed itself from a small, resource-scarce island into a global economic powerhouse. Through strategic planning, foreign investment, motivation, education, and technology, Singapore has become a world leader in finance, in biotechnology, in logistics, and digital innovation. The success stories are there. What is needed is vision. What is needed is a mission. And what is needed is the political will to act, and to act now. The time is now. And we are doing just that. During my recent visit to the United States, we held productive discussions with the Crown Prince of Kuwait and representatives from Saudi Arabia. We made it clear that TNT is open for business. This is a message I intend to echo globally. TNT is open for business now, and everyone is welcome. At the same time, we strive to strengthen our partnerships with our traditional friends, the United States, the United Kingdom, China, India, France, French ambassadors here. Our traditional partners, we intend to continue working with them and strengthening those partnerships and ties. And further, mentioned it before, very important, we need to penetrate markets of Latin America, whole of South America. We need to penetrate those markets. They are right on our doorstep. And you know what? Their population, their market population, I think is about 60 million people. So yes, in the CARICOM, but of course, in South America as well. So the world is our stage now. We are going globally. My government has a plan to reach the international corridors of capital. Our transformation plan will create an ecosystem for investment, motivation, and new economic activity. I know some of you saying, we've heard about these things before. We've heard about the word diversification. Yes, we've heard it. And indeed, diversification has been an elusive dream for decades. Too often a talking point with no real action. Minister John mentioned it, we've been planning, and I thought you would have. We've been planning and planning. Well, today we have started working, we have got TNT, let's get the investors regionally and internationally. The plans are being done and many are complete. So I said, I want to give you this assurance. Our projects will not be white elephants or illusions of grandeur. They will be grounded in purpose, built to produce real results. To ensure this, I am establishing oversight and governance committees, as mentioned by the Minister of Finance in the national budget. The first committee will be chaired by the Office of the Prime Minister to oversee project and capital allocation, to examine our national priorities and rank them from a development perspective. The second team we are setting up is an Economic Resilience Council and the Economic Development Board, which will guide diversification, shape policy, and monitor the key levers of our economy. This approach ensures synergy and collaboration, not fragmentation. One team will focus on diversification thrust, integration with foreign affairs, trade, and capital inflows. The other will ensure execution, that plans are translated into measurable outcomes. This brings me now to the critical role of you in the public sector. In my respectful view, the public sector is the engine room of national transformation. The public sector powers the delivery of essential services, together with water, electricity, telecoms, the very foundation on which our economy thrives. To transform our nation, every arm of the public sector must come together. PS, head of the public service, is here today. PS Barrow, let's give her a welcome. Thank you for coming. And together with your PSs, so you in the public sector, we must come together to improve the ease of doing business and to remove unnecessary bureaucracy. My government will empower leaders within the public sector to make business happen. We will do this by revising the Public Service Manual, modernizing government across ministries and state enterprises. The time has come now not only to empower, but also to hold people accountable. I do not wish to go back. I want to go forward. But what we have seen in terms of accountability leaves much to be desired. And so we must hold people accountable for their actions. There must be real delivery, not promises, not speeches, but visible, measurable results, which citizens can see and feel in their daily lives. These reforms will strengthen governance, improve project management, enhance audits and reporting, and ensure that every dollar spent is tied to performance. Ministries will be held accountable to key performance indicators. When these changes take root, they will strengthen our financial stability and lay the foundation for greater rewards, including foreign exchange generation, which we need, and at the same time, economic diversification and human development. I know we must align our economic levers and ensure that everyone, every ministry, every state agency, every worker is moving in the same direction forward. There must be no red tape, no roadblocks, and no unnecessary delays. Today, I want to assure you today that under my leadership, there will be no reckless spending, and those who do so will be brought to book. Every dollar will be guided by fiscal responsibility and comprehensive reform. TNT's energy reserves have long been the lifeblood of our nation. The oil and gas sector built the foundation of modern TNT, pioneering our industries, creating our infrastructure, and financing our progress. And yet, while we continue to harness our energy resources, diversity coexists, driving sustainable growth for generations to come. And so I come to the moment that you have probably been waiting for, our vision for transformation, the vision. Ms. John has shared a lot of it with us this evening. And so it is great pride an unwavering resolve that I stand before you to launch the Trinidad and Tobago Redevelopment Program, a transformative initiative to reshape our communities, to reignite our country, our economy, and of course to affirm our shared commitment to progress, dignity, and opportunity for all. This is more than infrastructure. It is a blueprint. It's a blueprint to guide us along the way. From revitalized town sectors to modern transport corridors, from sustainable housing to vibrant public spaces, we are building not just with concrete and steel, but we also are building with care, creativity, and conviction. Every citizen in every corner of our country deserves to live in a place that reflects their worth. The program is designed to uplift not just the landscape, but also to uplift the lives within it. Jobs will be created, businesses will thrive, families will flourish, and our youth will see in every new building, in every restored street, a future which includes them. We are guided by the values that unite us: resilience, innovation, and respect for our own heritage. As we move forward, we will listen closely, we will act transparently, and we will work collaboratively with local communities, private partners, international allies to ensure the transformation is inclusive, it is sustainable, and enduring. The TNT Revitalization Blueprint Program is a national vision that is long overdue and belongs to each and every citizen of our country. As I said, this is not just another development initiative. It's a strategic and purposeful diversification effort designed to stimulate our economy, expand our national capacity, and reinvigorate and reimagine what our twin island state can and must become. It is not just a vision. It is a declaration of intent we make today. We are building iconic, enduring structures that will define our national landscape, rooted in global best practices of land use, urban design, and sustainable development. These projects are engineered to last, to inspire, and to lead. They will stand out as unshakable symbols of progress and permanence, just as they are, fusing cutting-edge innovation with the soul of our heritage. We are not merely designing spaces, we are shaping the future of TNT. Every element reflects the essence of our people, our vibrant diversity, our spiritual depth, our boundaries, and boundless forever creativity, and our unwavering belief in what lies ahead. This is our legacy. This is our nation, and this is our legacy in motion, for it will be nothing short of extraordinary. Trinidad and Tobago is poised for success and greatness. Our beautiful paradise stands ready to harness the strength, all our strengths, to become the global logistical hub for marine service, for aviation, logistics, higher education, tourism, energy, and financial innovation. The program will also focus on efficiency, cost savings, rationalization through the decentralization of government functions and the repurposing of existing infrastructure, such as the International Waterfront Complex. Every dollar spent will work harder for our people. Every asset will have a greater purpose, and every community will share in the benefits. This revitalization blueprint program will generate as we export industries our country to greater global participation. The focus is on building sustainable, people-centered communities. The designs of the program will address long-standing infrastructure challenges, such as drainage, traffic congestion, urban sprawl, whilst at the same time promoting resilience, climate adaptation, and smart mobility through multimodal transport systems. Each project will incorporate renewable energy techniques, very important, green building principles, and inclusive public spaces, reflecting our commitment to sustainability and environmental stewardship. Foreign investment will be critical to the success of this transformation. Mr. Hill has spoken to us about leveraging financial markets, and we very much thank Gregory Hill. Please give him a round of applause for helping us in this regard. We will partner with governments. We'll partner with international banks, regional development institutions, private investors from around the world who share our vision for growth, equity, and sustainability. I emphasize again, TAT is open for business, ready to welcome a wide range of persons who want to invest, innovate, and grow with us. Together, we will demonstrate that our twin island nation state can do what it must do and what we must become. As you know, I returned from Tobago on Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday. It seems so long ago. I want to thank Chief Secretary Farley and his team are here with us today. Let's welcome them to Trinidad. And today, I say to them and all of us, we roll out the blueprint for Trinidad. Chief Secretary, on another day, we'll be rolling out the blueprint for Tobago. So please wait for it. It's coming soon. In the coming years, you will see cranes piercing the skyline of Port of Spain. In San Fernando, you'll see dredgers carve new horizons along the San Fernando coast. And you will see, you will be ready as it is, bulldozers all ready to go up to Tamana, Golden Grove, along the San Fernando to Mayaro to Caliota Highway. We will see all of them. This is a rhythm of renewal, the hum of a nation in motion, of hands at work and hearts lifted and families daring to dream again. It is a song, I say, of a republic reclaiming its future, one beam, one brick, one bold step at a time. We are securing our nation's borders, from Galeota to Cedros to Tetron. We are executing a bold modernization agenda, upgrading infrastructure, deploying cutting-edge technology, and establishing robust customs and immigration outposts. Every frontier will be fortified. Every entry point will be equipped. This is not just another plan. It is a national imperative. In the south, a new dawn breaks in San Fernando. San Fernando will shine once more. The waterfront redevelopment marks the most ambitious investment ever made in South Trinidad. The development spans over 400 acres, as Bijan told us, transforming the city into a vibrant nexus of innovation, culture, and care. From the boardwalk to Lady Hills Avenue, San Fernando is being reimaged and reimagined as a living symbol of Southern pride, resilience, and progress. Cultural pulse through the Hatta Spaniard, the Art District, and the breezy open-air amphitheater, where the rhythm of steel band and tassa, the soul of our people, will take center stage. We have plans to anchor this transformation. Ms. John mentioned it, Plaza San Carlos, so I will not go much into that further, and also the Southern Health City, delivering exceptional care, a world-class international conference center, and much more for our South City. So my friends, I thank you for your patience and your time. We will have infrastructural development throughout the length and breadth of Trinidad, and as I say, we roll out for Tobago. And then I want to share this with you. Only one segment we're dealing with at this time. The sector. You need every sector in every ministry. So today, we want to congratulate the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure for bringing this plan forward, the team they've worked with, and I'm saying we will always keep in touch with you, talk with you, and as we close here today, I ask you, we've been talking to you all evening, So keep your eyes peeled on the screen. I want you to see the vision actually with your own eyes. So we put together a video, and we want to thank you again for the time you've spent with us. May God continue to bless each and every one of you. Thank you very much.
Yes, indeed. And of course, that was, of course, the Honorable Prime Minister, of course, unveiling the vision for Trinidad and Tobago. Fantastic, munificent, and indeed, of course, monolithic, huge. And of course, who can doubt, who can vex? And of course, I want to say this because while she was speaking, I remember that between 2010 and 2015, Rowley couldn't find the 100 and something schools that they had put down on the ground physically. That's how damn lazy he was. Or should I say conveniently evil, wicked, diabolical. Point I am making, I'm using that point to say that if that could have occurred then, and Rowley was fascinated, he was spellbound, he was in a state of enigma, he was confuffled, he was in a state of discombobulation to see how people would work. And of course, a little lady like the present Prime Minister and was Prime Minister then. So he had to lie and say that she conspired, of course, to kill a journalist in order to get into office. And when he got there, not only was he unfit, not only was he disclosed and displayed a misnomer, but he was terribly, terribly unsuitable for the job. So all unfair games will play over, and so of course, as we said back in 2015, today of course marks another chapter in the continuation of the Kamala Prasad Bissessa-led as Prime Minister legacy into the future and a bright and prosperous Trinidad and Tobago. Of course, there will be some bumps. Let's not waste time. We will be there, of course, to smoothen them out and to explain them and to say have patience, because of course the vision is real and the outcome is a necessity, as she rightly said. It is now an imperative. We have to diversify. We can't waste time. Climate change will not wait on us. And we have to do our part, of course, to contribute to sustainable development, and our young people must be able to at least enjoy Trinidad and Tobago in a way that they too can leave it for their own children. They too can leave it for their own. That is the concept of sustainable development. We must not destroy everything, our generation, and forget those that are behind. Right? And so of course, we have come to the end of the time. I will not take any more calls. Have a wonderful rest of the night. God bless us. See you tomorrow morning on the ground report, Andy, Mikey, and myself, of course. And it was wonderful to hear the Honorable Prime Minister, Kamala Prasad Bissessa, as she, of course, delivered that splendid and far-reaching redevelopment initiative that she calls, and I agree, an imperative. Bye-bye. I'll see you then. I won't play any music tonight. I don't think the occasion deserves it. But I'll leave you, of course, with the Honorable Prime Minister as she concluded her presentation at the Diplomatic Center, unveiling, of course, the redevelopment of Trinidad and Tobago. After all, Trinidad and Tobago is open for what? Business.
You will see all of them. This is a rhythm of renewal, the hum of a nation in motion, of hands at work and hearts lifted and families daring to dream again. It is a song, I say, of a republic reclaiming its future, one beam, one brick, one bold step at a time. We are securing our nation's borders, from Galeota to Cedros to Tetron. We are executing a bold modernization agenda, upgrading infrastructure, deploying cutting-edge technology, and establishing robust customs and immigration outposts. Every frontier will be fortified. Every entry point will be equipped. This is